Hi guys, it's Gemma here again. I'm here with you for another Nomad interview. Our other intern Evie was meant to be taking this interview, but unfortunately, her Wi-Fi just isn't working with her, so I'm going to be taking over quickly. That's why I look like this, just so you know. Um, but our Nomad today is going to be Leroy. I'm very excited to interview him. Haven't talked to him before, so this is going to be very fun and interesting. So let me just invite him now. Okay, he should be joining us soon, hopefully. Hello.
Hey. Yeah, I
So
thought so.
first thing, am I pronouncing your name right? Just Leroy, or is
Yeah,
there?
Leroy is
Okay.
fine. Yeah.
That's why I was a bit,
Gemma? Your name is
yeah,
Gemma?
Gemma. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm Gemma. Hi, nice to meet
Okay.
you. How are you
Nice to meet
doing?
you.
How are you
Good.
doing? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so we're just going to be some quick few questions I'm sure Evie's explained to you. So the first thing I want you to do is, can you just introduce yourself, like say a little bit about what you do and who you are, basically?
Yeah. So first of all, I'm Leroy. I'm a mindset coach and of course, like a digital nomad. That's why I'm here, or that's why you invited me. So welcome here. And that's really short about me. So I started like 6 years ago now with my own business, and a few years later, when my business was going a little bit better, I decided to live the nomad lifestyle as well. So now
Hmm.
I combine like work and traveling with each other, and build like around that some other passions, and yeah, make the best out of life, I would say.
That sounds like the dream experience, to be honest. So, my first question to you is, where are you right now with your nomad life?
I'm right now in Split, which is in Croatia.
Oh wow, beautiful.
Yeah.
So what moment did you realize that you wanted to be a digital nomad? Like when did you decide this is the lifestyle I want to lead?
Um, for me, that moment was when, especially when my business, because I believe you can do both together, but you need to have like a kind of sustainable income. In what
Hmm.
kind of way, like to do that and to be able to do that online. So for me, those steps are like separated from each other, but I get questions from other nomads as well, or people who want to become a nomad, and they want to do it both at once, but I think it's more difficult. So when my business was more up and running, so that was my first focus. I wanted to start my own online business, and after that, when I was like, okay, this is going well, I have more like a kind of sustainable income, so I was like more confident to also do like the work and traveling like the thing together to become like a nomad, and that was why I decided, to give it a try and to
Awesome.
move out.
So did you always like traveling when you were even before you were a nomad? Is that what you thought it's best for my mindset if I
Mm.
travel and work, or was it just a new experience, a new adventure that you wanted to try out?
Yeah, it was more like a new adventure. Yeah, of course. Like
Mhm.
I like travel. I did like a backpack trip before, which was like amazing. And actually, that was the moment that I realized when I was backpacking that I was looking. At that moment, I was saving money to make the backpack trips. Like I was doing it on my savings, which is not like a
Mhm.
sustainable something, and it was
Yeah.
okay. But during my trip, I asked myself the question like, what if I can keep having this freedom, even without living like the backpack life, but just like a sustainable something, and to make something like out of it, where I can just have this kind of freedom or feel this kind of freedom like the rest of my life, basically. So that was the moment that I was also thinking for the first time, not in the traditional way of thinking, like you
Mhm.
graduate, you get a job, you buy a house, like this kind of stuff. And that was actually the first time during my backpack I was like, okay, there are like maybe other possibilities as well, to make like a combination, or like live a completely different lifestyle. So that was where I was stepping into entrepreneurship as well, because it gives you probably the most freedom
Yeah.
possible. So I made like a plan to start my own company with the passion I have. And when I came back from the backpack trip, that's where I started.
Hmm.
And after a while, I got the freedom. So for me, it's not like I need to travel, but the feeling of having the freedom, that's for me more important. So even if I was at home and I was just an entrepreneur, but I couldn't do it like online at that moment because I didn't have the money because I just started.
Hmm.
Already I felt like freedom because I could decide when I wanted to do my exercises, for example. So I like running. I can
Hmm.
choose to do it in the morning, afternoon, evening, and that was for me already freedom. Even when I was working like a lot to get my business up and running. So for me, that's even more important than like the traveling. And of course, I can do both now.
Hmm.
So I take the benefits of it. But if I would stay like longer on one place, 1 year, 2 years, or even settle down, I still would have the freedom and the choice to make a different
Yeah.
decision or to go somewhere else.
So it's
And
like kind of like,
I like that feeling.
yeah, so it's like being your own boss kind of feeling, kind of thing. So did you ever kind of work in what people would call like a typical office setting, or did you go straight into kind of being an entrepreneur and being your own boss?
Yeah, so this is what happened on the backpack trip as well. So
Mm.
I didn't grow up with like an entrepreneurship like family or something, like so
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
have these kind of, and I never had like the dream actually to become like an entrepreneur until I made like that backpack trip, and that
Hmm.
was the first moment when I was actually thinking about maybe, because before that I saw myself already after the backpack trip to get like an office job, basically,
Yeah.
or a 9 to 5 job. Nothing wrong with that as well, right? It's just
Yeah.
like your personality, so it's what you want. And then
Hmm.
during the backpack trip, this view, like my perspective changed, and I was like, okay, maybe I can do something else as well, which
Yeah.
gives me maybe makes me more exciting. And
Yeah.
so that's where I started to appreciate even more like the freedom and actually how important it is to me, because before I didn't know that. And yeah, that's how I started.
No, that's really cool because I think that kind of 9 to 5 like job thing is really ground into us, like it whilst we're at school and all that stuff. So having that like that moment of realization that this is what I want to do is a really great thing to have. So my next question to you is, what is one thing you look for when you plan a trip?
Yeah, so this is a good one. I mean, we can talk for like weeks about this
Yeah.
kind of subject, because if you look to the no, especially the nomad lifestyle is super interesting, because like every nomad can live. I mean, there's completely freedom usually.
Hmm.
There are even there like different, because not everyone is owning their own business. There are also like people remote. It's more like remote work, like they do it for
Hmm.
like a company, which gives you like a little less freedom in general. But I mean, also this is possible. So there are like a lot of different ways. And then also like to give an answer on your question is like the lifestyle thing. Yeah, that's like a big thing. So for me, it is getting more important now. I'm now on the road for like a few years. And for me, it's getting more important to look also for like a future home base, or maybe
Hmm.
multiple future home bases,
Hmm.
but places where I want to come back like once in a while because I like it. I can settle down there, because this is another thing. It can get also sometimes like tired. We call it like, I don't know how to call it like exactly in English, but like travel tired. So
Yeah.
you are keep moving and moving, but it takes like a lot of energy as well,
Yeah.
because you need to find like a new accommodation. You need to settle down in a new culture, adapt to the culture, meet new people again. So
Yeah.
all these things can be like overwhelmed as well. And so for me right now, it is, but this is like I'm now in a different phase. But now
Hmm.
it's for me like more important to look for places where I can see myself. Yeah, maybe for a longer period of time, or maybe like once a year I go there every time, like for a few months. So I'm
Yeah.
just figuring out that, but it's like along the road, because I don't have like a deadline. I don't need to find like something 1, 2, 3 years. It can take like, yeah, for
However,
example, like
however
20
long
years.
you need.
It
Yeah.
doesn't really matter, but just
Yeah.
looking for those kind of places. And for example, like Split was interesting to me because it has it's next to the beach, so it's a beach city, which I like. So I like a beach. I like mountains, which are close by as well, so I can do hiking, which I like. So I'm looking for places which I like. And
Hmm.
Split is also something in the middle. If we look to population, it's not like really small. It's not like a village. But it's also not too big. It's not like a big
Yeah.
capital. So something in the middle is also nice. So that was, for example, why I choose to go here and check this place out.
Yes, like environment and what kind of activities you can do sound really important to you.
Yeah.
Um, Talking about activities, so you said you do hiking and you also enjoy running. Are there any kind of like maybe adventurous or like different kind of activities that you like to do or try to do in any new place you go to?
Yeah, there are like things like, for example, I always try to think in more location independent things to do.
Mhm.
Like, so let's say location independent exercises. So this is why I like, for example, running, because I just need my
Wow,
running
yeah.
shoes, and I got my running shoes with me, and more I don't need. And the same is for yoga. I got like a folded yoga mat, so this can be like
Mhm.
a good tip for other people as well, because sometimes I see they are still wearing like the big one, but you got a folded one as well,
Oh,
so
wow.
you can just go easily in your suitcase or whatever.
Mhm.
So I got this, so I can do yoga with it, but also I like to do calisthenics. It's like body weight exercises.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's like kind of gym, but like it's the push-ups, sit-ups are like the easy or the most famous one. But there are like a lot of other options there, and I can do that everywhere as well. I can just do it like here in my apartment as well.
Yeah.
So I'm looking mostly for this kind of things because it's just much more convenient, and
Yeah.
it keeps you healthy as well, because it's another challenge for like nomads, because you're traveling all around. So it's more difficult to get into your routines directly in a new place.
Mhm.
So those are a few of the things, and yeah, and dancing. So lately I started dancing, especially
Oh, wow.
kizomba. So even if some nomads now, maybe some people know me, they will laugh about it, because it's becoming one of my biggest passions. So I can talk a lot about that.
Oh,
But so that's something I'm looking for as well. Like maybe they have like a kizomba class in a certain
yeah.
place, or at least like some kind of dancing where I can still improve this as well.
Yeah. Oh,
So
I'm
these
a
are a
big
few things.
dancer, so that's really cool to hear that you like to do dancing because I'm a big dancer as well, and it's really cool to be able to go try dance lessons wherever you go because it's a good way to get your body moving and to be able to move with people as well, I think is a big thing for nomads
Yeah,
is like being
yeah.
able to be with people. So that's really cool that you're trying to look for dance classes. I think that's really awesome.
Yeah, and so the nice thing there is also like, so you're doing the dancing, so you learn like a skill, but at the
Hmm.
same time you can socialize with the people, and well,
Yeah.
mostly I'm also the only foreigner, so I meet directly like local people, which I like. So
Yeah.
I like to meet those people as well. So it's yeah, so it's a nice way of connecting with
Breaking
people,
the
and
ice.
at the
Yeah.
same time building skills, which I like to do.
Yeah, that's really awesome. Okay, so my last question to you is what has been your favorite experience as a digital nomad?
Uh Wow. Yeah, this is always like difficult, because every place is their own thing. But
Yeah.
I think in general, it's more it's not like one experience, but I would say it's
Mhm.
more like the feeling of,
Mm.
freedom you got, the feeling of like getting up and being exciting and being in a new place,
Mm.
um, being like kind of like a foreigner as well. So being like out of I don't know, like the system. I think that's something I really enjoy the most. So the freedom, like every day can be different if you want to, and maybe even the best experience is just meeting local people and hear their stories, and especially their culture.
Mm.
So mostly I go to places which are like completely different than my own culture, and it's really interesting to hear how they grow up, how their systems work. I think that's a big part for me, and of course, like the landscapes and whatever, like
Yeah,
everywhere you go, you see like beautiful things, beautiful
beautiful. Yeah.
beaches, mountains. You meet so much interesting people, so it's really hard to say like this is the thing,
Yeah. No.
um, but it's more like the feeling, I would say.
So you say like you like to meet locals. Is there any like places that they've shown you which have been like your favorite, maybe hidden little gems in anywhere you've been to?
Ooh, yeah, there are like a few, but I came now from Croatia. I came from Albania.
Hmm.
And Albania is super interesting. I came there in the winter, so the interesting part there is that, like, even in the capital, they only speak Albanian. So this is actually really nice, because the moment you hear like English, which is like on most other places, you hear at least like a something like that, and
Yeah.
it wasn't there. So it was really nice to experience that. So no foreigners, like almost no nomads. Yeah, like not a lot of
Yeah.
foreigners. So it's really nice to hear still in like a capital, like a big city like that,
Mhm.
they you hear like Albanian like everywhere around you. And for
Yeah.
example, now here it's different. Here I hear already like much more English. So there's
Mm.
like a different kind of vibe you get because of that. And it's
Yeah.
nice to experience it now before it's getting not so hidden anymore, like a hidden
Yeah.
gem. Yeah.
No, of course. Yeah, no, that's really, yeah, cool. Like, it really sounds like you really like to immerse yourself properly into the thing, which I think is sometimes something people can forget to do quite often when they
Yeah,
go into a new country. It's quite easy to forget that there's a whole culture there to immerse yourself in unless you meet locals. So that's some really awesome advice. Thank you so much. I'm going to probably apply that to my next travels as well.
yeah, you're
And
welcome.
I think that's pretty much it. So thank you so much, Leroy. This has been actually amazing and really interesting to hear such a different perspective on on being a digital nomad. So guys, yeah, I recommend immersing yourself more into local culture, not being so, I don't know, stuck in the digital nomad community, expanding your horizons just like Leroy does. Yeah, any last remarks, Leroy?
Not really. I think like for people who want to become like a nomad, there are like a lot of options. So don't try to limit your own like beliefs,
Yeah,
your own like mindset,
yeah,
because there are much more possibilities than you probably think already
definitely.
to live that lifestyle. Also now with jobs, there are so much like online jobs you can do. So there are like a lot of options, or maybe even like like a 50-50 thing, or like
Hmm.
3 months a year you go out. But there are like a lot of options to create more freedom. And even if you don't want it,
Yeah,
there are in general more options to create more freedom just in your life, even if it's like on one place. So I think that's something to keep in mind if you want to be focused on that, to keep doing that like in small steps and work towards
definitely.
that.
Definitely, I totally agree. I think don't be afraid to ask to make these steps because of the pandemic and everything. We've all experienced remote working anyway. So just to ask for it, to be like, oh, look, I want to travel and work is not a scary thing to do anymore. So yeah, definitely, I totally agree, Leroy. Thank you so much for letting me interview. This has been really cool.
Yeah, thanks for the invite.
Yeah, of course. That's about it, guys. That's all we've got. Thank you again to Leroy. Thank you guys for joining the live. This will be posted on our Instagram for you all to view later on in case you've missed anything. And yeah, bye. Do you want to say bye, Leroy?
Bye bye.
Bye.